Hi everyone, my name's Debbie. Welcome to this Pilates workout. A little bit about me. I've been doing Pilates now for the last 15 years. It started way back when I had premature menopause. I went through the menopause and ended up with the onset of osteoporosis. Following that, I prolapsed a disc due to obviously bone density, weak bones, etc. So I decided to look at alternatives, and Pilates seemed to be one of those. I started Pilates, as I say, 15 years ago, and I've not looked back. You can get great help from Pilates. You use core strength, which helps to strengthen your spine. It gives you better control over your body. And it also certain positions that will strengthen the bone density, particularly when we do downward dog. We're taking all the weight into our arms, we're building up the density around the shoulders and the top of the back. So yeah, great. I hope that any of you that are joining me for issues that you might have will get a benefit from this. If you're just doing it for the pure health side of it, then fantastic, because again, it is a great sort of option for workout exercise to do. I'm going to be using hand weights. It's not something that you actually need. Every move that we do, you can do without them, but I like them. Again, it helps to give me a little bit more workout around the arms, building up more muscle and protecting myself throughout my body. So again, your choice. There will be options throughout the class. Choose the options that are best suited to you. Don't always go for the hardest option, because that's not always the best choice to make. You do what you can do and do it for your body. We don't want any pain. Anytime you feel pain, then stop and realign, rethink about what you're doing. Pilates works through breathing in through the nose, breathing in out the mouth. So you breathe in through the nose, and as you do so, you pull in your core. As you breathe out, you pull in the core even more. So the whole time we're holding our core as tight as we can. So throughout the class, you might not always be able to concentrate that if you're new and you're thinking about moves, but do try and hold the core as best you can and as tight as you can throughout the whole practice. Okay, we're going to start by laying down. So if you take yourself to the mats, anyone that's got weights, move them to one side. If you wanted to use weights and you haven't actually got any, you could perhaps use bottles of water. Clearly make sure they've got water in them. It's no good using empty bottles, you're not going to get anywhere with that. So if you're not already laying down and you haven't come down from your side, you can come down with me. We'll go down, we're using our core to take us down, okay? We're not going to take any pain in the back. We go down with what we call our C curve. If you find at any point you're shaking or your core's not holding you, don't take the strain on your back. Hold behind the back of your legs and bring yourself down from the support of your hands. So if you're coming with me, we're going down very slowly. We're curling our back, curving it into a C curve, and we're bringing ourselves down very slowly, all the way to the mat. Core is holding us. If it's not holding you, take behind the legs and you hold yourself there. And you bring yourself all the way down to the mat. Okay, we're going to start by tensing our whole body. We're going to clench our body up. We're going to squeeze it as hard as we can. Every part of our face is going to squeeze. Every part of our body is going to tense on our in-breath, and on the out-breath, we're going to release it. Now, if you have lower back issues, don't take your legs long. Take them mat width apart, feet, knees locked in together. You can still clench and tense from that position. So let's go. Let's clench our whole body. Big breath in, clench, squeeze everything. Squeeze that face, the arm, clench the fists, the toes. And on the out breath, release. Okay, do that one more time. In your breath. And release. Lovely. Feel a little bit of release of tension there. The body should still feel a little bit relaxed now. Let's just rock our head from side to side. Releasing out the neck. Releasing out any tension. Relax the shoulders, just the head that's moving. Rest of the body is relaxed. And then come to centre. We're going to take our first breathing control here. So we're going to breathe in at the core and pull the core in. And as we pull out, breathe in, as we breathe out and pull in the core even more, we lift just our head, not the shoulders, just the head, chin to chest. Okay, so breath in, pull in that core. Breath out, pulling the core even more, lift the head, chin to chest. Hold it there, hold that core tight. Breathe in, pull the core even tighter. Breathe out, pull that core even tighter. Allow the head to go back down to the mat, and when it reaches the mat, release the core, release and relax. Taking the hands out, just apart from your body, just a small way apart, palms facing up, and you've got your feet dropped out. Closing the eyes now if you can, looking internally to see what's going on and see how you feel at the start of the class. We'll do this at the end of the class and we'll see how much better our body feels. So we're just going to take a few moments here to relax before we start our practice. So allow the feet to drop out. Relax the ankles and the calves, the knees and the thighs. Relax the glutes and the pelvis, the lower back, the mid back and the core, the upper back and the chest, the hands, the lower arms, the elbows and the upper arms. Your shoulders relaxed, your neck relaxed, and your head. Relax your cheekbones, your eyes and your eyebrows. Relax your forehead and the top of your head. Just lay there, looking internally, with just the rise and the fall of your stomach and your chest. Start to bring a little bit of movement back to your body now. Wriggling those fingers and those toes. Big deep breath in through the nose, out through the mouth. And then stretching your arms and your legs away for full body stretch. So point those toes, point those fingers away. Someone's pulling your legs, someone's pulling your arms, stretching. And release. If you have your legs up here, just stretch your arms away. Everybody else taking the feet up onto the mat now, still keeping the eyes closed if you can, knees locked in together, arms out to the side. Again, look at what's going on inside. Then taking the knees apart, you're going to take a breath in, pulling in that core, and as you breathe out, allow those legs to drop over to one side. Feet exactly where they are. When you get to your point of tension, let them go. Let everything relax again, no tension anywhere. If you do have tension, look at it and breathe into it. Then on the next in-breath, pulling in that core, and at the same time lifting the legs to centre, reaching top and breathing out. Relax. Let's do that on the other side. So big breath in, pulling in that core. Breath out, legs over to the other side, pulling that core in as you do so. Reaching your point of relaxation and letting everything go. Breathing into tension, asking it to relax. Relax the face. And on the next in-breath, pulling in the core, At the same time, lifting the legs to centre, reaching the top and breathing out. We're going to take what we call our hug now, so we're going to release the lower and the mid spine here. So taking our legs together, so we've got our knees together, our ankles together, we're not crossing them, we're keeping them separate and together. Taking an in-breath, we're going to pull it up our legs. Now, if you still haven't got the core strength to pull your legs up from this position, don't take the strain into your back, take behind the legs and pull them in from that way. So breath in, lifting up those legs, breathing out, pull the core in even more, and hug those legs in. Feel the rounding in the mid and the lower of the spine there. And release that. Do it again. Breath in, breath out. And release. Fabulous. Okay, we're going to take our bridge move now. So we're going to take it in different stages. As I said earlier, you choose the option that's best for you. You don't have to come up at every option that we take. So we're going to start hands down by the side, but first of all we're going to get what we call our neutral spine. So we're going to make sure our spine is happy and it's where it should be. So take our hands in a little triangular shape and place them over the top of the pelvis. Okay, so as you breathe in, pull in that core, the hands will go down. As you breathe out, you pull in the core and you tilt your pelvis upwards. Just a slight move and then you release. So it's a breath in, pull in the core, breath out, pull in the core even more. Tilt that pelvis and then relax. Breath in, breath out, relax. Do that a few times in your breath. And then hold it there. You should now be in a nice neutral spine. So your lower and your bottom part of your back should be nice and firm into the mat. You might have a small arch here underneath your back. Some people have a natural curve to their spine, so that's not too worried, but we don't want great big bends up here, and we don't want the bottom of the back lifting. We want it nice and flat onto the floor in our neutral spine. Okay, taking your hands down by the side, we're going to start to lift ourselves up. Now you want to bring your feet in a little bit closer to your buttocks. And then you're going to take a breath in, pulling in the core as we just did. And then as you breathe out, as we did before, pull in the core, tilt the pelvis up and start to squeeze the glutes. And then start to gradually push yourself up into our bridge pose. Squeeze those glutes tight, squeeze the thighs, bringing yourself up, using your hands for support. Taking an in-breath there. And as you breathe out, lower yourself all the way back down to the floor again. One vertebrae at a time. Last thing that comes down will be your tailbone. So it's a breath in, pulling in the core. Breath out, pulling the core even more. Tilt that pelvis. Squeeze those glutes, squeeze the thighs. Nice and slowly as you come up. One vertebrae coming up onto the shoulders, no higher. We're not going onto the neck, we're just staying up onto the shoulders. Taking a breath in. Breathing out. All the way back down to the floor, keeping the glutes tight, keeping the core tight. And then to the bottom now. If you want to take the next option, it'd be taking the hands away. Now as you start to come up, if your legs start moving around and you're all over the place, take your hands back down for that support. Otherwise, let's go with our hands over our core. So breathing in, pulling in the core. Breathing out, core in. Let's lift ourselves up slowly as we do, squeezing the glutes, squeezing the thighs, everything. If you can hold everything tight and squeeze everything, you're getting good core control and you're also supporting your spine. So we want everything tight. Then taking an in-breath up here. As we breathe out, we start to come down. So the upper back comes down, the mid-back comes down, the lower back, and finally the tailbone. Okay, let's take the next option. So breath in here, breathing out, let's take ourselves up to the top, squeezing everything tight. And then if you want to take the next option up, we're coming up on our toes and we're taking the bridge even deeper. Holding it there, taking an in-breath. As we breathe out, we bring ourselves all the way back down to the floor again. And then down. The next next option will be to come up on the toes. So we're taking a breath in here, breathing out, we start to come up, lifting that pelvis, squeezing the glutes, squeezing the thighs, and then pushing up on the toes and pushing yourself up very slowly to the top, reaching the top, breathing in here and breathing out. Down we come, keeping up on the toes. The toes are the last thing, or the feet are the last thing to come down after the tailbone. Let's do that again. Let's come up and take the next option. So breath in here, breath out, toes up, keep going all the way to the top. Taking our hands this time, bringing them underneath, clenching the fists and rolling our shoulders under. Taking our bridge even further, keeping that core tight. Feel that stretch, feel the opening in the spine. Moving the spine in a different direction so that it's not really used to moving this way. Taking an in-breath, out-breath. Let's bring ourselves all the way back down to the floor. We're going to do that one more time, and then we're going to take in our hug. So whatever option you're at, taking that in-breath, out-breath, tilting that pelvis, squeezing the glutes, pushing up on the toes if you can, pushing yourself all the way up to the top, reaching your point, taking the hands under, rolling the shoulders, bringing yourself up, holding yourself there, feel that stretch, breath in, breath out, bring yourself all the way back down to the floor. And last thing, let's take our hug. So taking our breath in, holding the core in, lifting the legs up from the core, squeezing out, and release. Breath in, breath out. Moving the spine the opposite way now. We just moved it that way, we're moving it back in the opposite direction. That's the reason we do the hugs. We keep the spine moving one way, we keep it back the other way, we make sure it's opening, we make sure it's breathing in. Now the final part of bridge is actual full bridge. Now, if it's not something you've done before, possibly not a wise move to try and do it right now, unless you have somebody there with you that can support your back. If you've done it before and you want to have a go and you want to do it now, then that's your chance, your opportunity, I should say. So otherwise, you take your hands back down, you do your bridge, you can do your bridge from here, wherever, whatever option you want to take. So if you're doing full bridge, you take your feet slightly wider so that you've got good support there. You take your hands behind, the palms facing now down towards your legs. So you've got your fingers facing downwards. So your hands are now opposite. Oh gosh, my hair does get in my way. And you take them behind, they're almost in line with you, sort of your head in a sense. You're going to push up. You will take sort of stop on the head, but you don't take any weight into it. All the weight is being held in your legs and your arms, but you just sort of stop somehow with the head slightly there. Oh God, I wish my hair would get out of the way, otherwise I'd go up and I've got hair caught. Okay, let's take an out in-breath, pulling in the core. And then as we breathe out, we push up. You're sort of here on the head, but you're not taking the weight in it. And then you push yourself up into your full bridge. And you hold it there for 8. Then you bring yourself back down to the floor. You can take in your hug if you wish. So you can take the hug, entirely up to you. And then you can have another go. So if you want to have another go doing your bridge, then do so. If you want to have another go at rolling up, rolling down, trying to take your hands away if you didn't before, have a go at what you want to do, and then up you go. If you're up in full bridge, keep those glutes squeezed, protect that spine, and then bring yourself back down and give yourself a hug here. Feel this sort of spine opening. Should be releasing itself up now. If it's been tight, should be loosening up a little bit. And then bring our feet back down. So at this stage, we're going to take our hand weights. And we're going to put them, if we've got them, as I say, all moves can be done without them. Taking them either side, we're going to do some sit-ups. So get your neutral spine, guys, and making sure that feet are hip width apart. We don't want them wide, we want them nicely hip width, slightly away from the glutes now. And then getting your neutral spine, making sure that you're comfortable where you are. Taking your hands behind the back of your head. Now elbows are out, they're not up here, elbows are out to the side, and the hands are there just to support the head. The hands are not pushing the head up, they're just there for support if you need it, to sort of take the strain away from the neck. Okay, so we're going to take our in-breath as we did before, pulling in the core. Breathing out, as we tilt that pelvis up and pull the core in, we lift our head and shoulders. And then we release back down to the floor. Breath in, breath out, and release. Now this time we're going to breathe with our head and shoulders up, so we're taking our in-breath, pulling in the core. Out breath, pulling the core more, tilt the pelvis, head and shoulders up, hold it up, breath in up here, breath out as we lower back down to the ground. Don't forget, it's in through the nose, out through the mouth. So breath in through the nose, pulling in the core, breathing out through the mouth, pulling in the core, tilting the pelvis, lifting the head and shoulders to the top. Breathing in through the nose, out through the mouth, as you lower back down to the floor. If you want to take the hands away, you can take your hands to the side. Using the same breathing options. If you want, you can slide your hands along your legs. All the time, keeping that core tight. And the final option would be to do a full sit-up. Now you can do a full sit-up with your legs in this position. You can go for classic position, and you can sit up from here. So you're taking your in-breath, and as you're breathing out, you're bringing yourself up. Now again, if you can't do it from the core, lift behind your legs, bring yourself up from behind the legs. Otherwise, you use your core, and you bring yourself up to seated from there. Okay? If you want to take the hand weights, you can take your hand weights now. And that's where you get the upper body strength moved into it as well. So you're working the upper body a little bit harder than what you normally would. But again, all options. Bring yourself up, trying to keep your feet on the floor. Don't throw yourself up, coming up in a nice smooth movement. If you find yourself throwing yourself to get yourself up, go back down. Don't push yourself up here, because by doing that, you're just going to end up ruining the spine, taking it out of alignment, and making more issues than what is necessary. So just a couple more here. And then this time, take your hands overhead if you can. Again, this is another option. Breathing in, breathing out as you come up. Bringing yourself all the way up and allowing yourself to go down over your legs. Taking the spine, opening it a different way. Again, your choice, your options. If you're only getting to here, that's absolutely brilliant. If you're holding your core, that's perfect. If you're up here and you're bending over, if you just get to there, again, that's great. Wherever you are, don't forget we're still warming up. We're still warming that spine. It's not at its full potential yet. Four more here, guys, just four more. Two more. And the last one coming up now. All the way up, pulling the core, bringing yourself down, stretching over, taking the weights out to the side, sitting yourself up and bringing yourself back down very slowly to the floor. Let's take in our hug. So big hug in, or big breath in, pulling in the core, legs up, breathing out, and release. Breath in, breath out, and release. So the final stage of our sit-ups is our teaser. The teaser is one of the best moves that you can do in Pilates for core. Well, it is the best move, the core strengthening. It works all the lower muscles, it works the whole core, deep muscles at the same time. It's not the easiest of moves, and again, can be done with hand weights, it can be done without hand weights. So your choice. I'm going to take my weights into my hand, taking the legs a little bit further away from our body, and we're going to take one leg up. Okay, so the knees are locked together, one leg out, toes pointed out. We're taking our arms overhead, taking our breath in, and as we breathe out, we're going to sit up here. Now you might just get to here, that's great. You might come up a little bit more, you might be able to come all the way up. We're just doing 4 on either side, so have a go, see where you are. As I say, don't throw yourself up, it's a nice smooth movement that we're coming up. Just 4 of these. So we've got just 2 more to do. Last one on this side. Wherever you are, coming up, and then bring yourself back down. Put that foot down. Let's take 4 on the other side. The core should be warming up nicely now. The spine should be warming up. Last one on this side. Coming back down, bringing the foot down, taking the weights over to one side for the moment. Excellent. Okay, let's take our hugs. Breath in, pulling that core. We're a bit warmer now, so you might be able to bring up the legs, using the core. Breathing out. And release. Breath in, breath out. Amazing. We're going to bring ourselves up now. So you can bring yourself up rolling like a ball, or you could take yourself onto your side. If you have low blood pressure, come up from your left hand side and bring yourself up to seated. If you want to come up with me, rolling like a ball, you bring your legs up, keeping that core tight. You can cross them now if you like, or you can have them apart, holding behind the legs. With the momentum, you start to roll yourself up and down. Try not to put the feet on the floor. You're getting a full spinal massage here. And take your hands away. And then finally, you can take your hands out to the side. Again, try not to put the feet down onto the floor. Until now, feet down, bringing yourselves to a nice seated position. Sitting nice and tall, bring those legs in close. Sit nice and tall, straight as you can with that spine. Breathing in And as you breathe out, tilt that head down. Feel the stretch down the whole spine here. And then release. Now, we're going to bring ourselves round onto all fours. Excuse me, I'm just going to put a headband there, elastic in. And you take yourselves onto all fours. We've got hands underneath our shoulders, so our arms are in alignment, and our knees underneath our hips. So we're coming into a nice tabletop position here. We're going to bring ourselves up into downward dog. Okay. Again, as I said at the beginning of the class, downward dog is fabulous for checking in the whole body. We're taking our weight into our arms. We're building the strength here across the back of the shoulders and the top of your spine. We're also going to be having our head lower than our heart, which is great for blood circulation. It helps the blood to circulate faster around the body, giving it good movement. And we're stretching every part of the body, so we're going to be stretching our arms, our legs and our back, the whole lot. So at this point, when we get up into downward dog, you're going to take a look at everything. You're going to look inside and you're going to see if there's any points that need to be worked on. So you take our hands, just one hand in front, so taking one hand forward. We're going to now be out of alignment, so, arm alignment that is. So toes under, we're taking an in-breath, pulling in the core. We're going to sit down onto our heels. And what we're going to do is we breathe out, we're going to lift just our knees off the floor, and then we're going to push up with our arms and legs into our downward dog. At this point, what we do is we push into our arms and we push our chest towards our thighs. So we're pushing ourselves forward. Don't worry if your feet are not flat on the floor, just pushing yourself forward. Now at this point, check in with your body, check in at everything. See if there's any points that you're going to need to be working on in the future, how you're feeling today, and relax there. This is a relaxing pose. Let's take a few breaths here, in through the nose, out through the mouth, and then start to walk your feet out. Come right up onto the toes. We're going to start working the ankles and the feet now. As you're working those toes, come right up as high as you can, walking them out, and come right up on your toes, push yourself forward again, and then lower the heels down to the floor and push yourself there. At this point, we're going to try and do a gentle spinal twist, okay? Again, it's an option and you don't have to do it. So what you do is you take one hand away, you take it to the opposite ankle, and you hold on, and you pull yourself under, okay? So you're pulling yourself through. You're stretching there. And then taking that away, let's do that on the other side, getting yourself aligned before you do, taking the hand away, and pulling yourself under. Bring that hand back. Let's do one final push here. Pushing forward, feel that opening, feel everything there. The chest is opening. Then bending your knees, walking your hands back to your feet and allowing yourself to hang there like a rag doll. You can take hold of opposite elbows. And then let the hands drop. We're going to come up into Pilates, roll up, roll down. So we're going to roll up first. We're taking that in-breath here. And as we breathe out, we start to bring ourselves up, one vertebrae at a time, very slowly. Bringing ourselves up, moving your hands along the front of your legs always helps, so it helps me. So the lower back is now starting to come up, then the mid back, then the upper back. Keeping that core tight, the shoulders will drop back and down, the neck will come up, and then finally the head, until you're in a nice position. Keeping that core tight, standing yourself tall, squeeze those buttocks, making yourself tall, taking the shoulders back and down, taking an in-breath, out-breath, you tilt that head down, the head starts to come down, just the head, then the shoulders will start to come down, keeping the core tight, guys, hands to the front of the legs, the upper back's coming down, the mid-back. If you can only get to here, that's great. Wherever you get in your roll down, go as far as your body allows you to. Breathing in there, breathing out, bring yourself all the way back up. Now you might find that one breath's not enough, so if you are breathing in and out on your way up, don't forget in through the nose, out through the mouth, keeping the core tight at every point. And this time I want you to stay up. And we're going to bring ourselves long onto our mats. So we're going to take our legs now wider than our hips. You can take hold of your hand weights here if you want. Again, it's an option and you don't have to use them. So we've got our legs wide here. We're going to take an in-breath and raise our arms up. We're going to take an out-breath, drop one hand down. Another in-breath, pulling in that core. And as we breathe out, we're going to do a side stretch. So we're not coming forward and hanging here, we're opening. So we're coming down the side, okay? So if you only get into here, that's great. But don't compromise by bending yourself forward. We're opening, okay? So you're going to feel a nice stretch. You can look across, you should be able to look at the ceiling as you look underneath your arm, and your side of your body is opening. And then breathing in, breathing out. Let's do that again. Breath in, breath out, other side. Breath in, breath out. Bringing yourself over, looking up at the ceiling, stretching, a nice stretch down the side of the body. Breath in, breath out, back to standing. We're going to do a few flies here, just to work our upper arms. Now, if you haven't got weights, then clenching your fist really tight is just exactly the same. You're just using your body weight. It's no good doing it floppy. Squeeze that fist tight if you don't have a weight. And as we bring the fly up, you're going to feel the muscle working. Okay? So if you're with me, with weights, if you're not, we're starting here, and we're coming out to our fly. Keep that core tight, breath in, breath out as you lift. Excellent. Then I want you to bring yourself round. We're going to do a lunge, keeping the weights in your hands if you've got them. You don't have to use them, entirely up to you. So we're coming forward into a lunge. So we've got foot nicely forward, come down, so you've got a nice a right angle with the front leg, okay? Up on your back toe now, so you've got that nice straight leg at the back if you can, okay? And we're going to come down and we're going to do some triceps lifts here, okay? You can do it with just one hand, okay? You can do it with both. So it's a drop, tricep, down. Keep that core tight. weights down, okay? If you want to come down a little bit further now and stretch out more, you can take your right foot or whatever foot you have down, whichever you've lunged in, take it over to the side of your mat and see if you can come down a little bit further. You might be able to come down onto your elbows, but at all times keep the core tight. Got an inner hip stretch now, so your hips are opening. If you're just to here, that's great. Wherever you might be, let's keep that core as tight as we can. Then pushing yourself up. If you've got the leg foot out, bring it to the same position that it was in beforehand, and then dropping yourself back down. We're not moving the foot back, we're keeping it where it is, and we're dropping down here. You can come down onto that knee if you wish. And then bring yourself up, bring your feet to front together, take the other leg back into your lunge position. Weights if you've got them. Nice right angle with that front leg. Back leg nice and straight. Bringing yourself forward for our 8 tricep push up, down. Last one. Taking the weights out to the side, bringing yourself down so you can do it from here. You can take the foot over so it's in line with the edge of the mat, and you can bring yourself down onto your elbows and get the inner stretch there. Pushing yourself back up, bringing that foot back to its alignment, and then we're going to come back on the heel and bring ourselves down. As I said, you can do it from here, you can bring the knee down, and you can do it from there, but don't move the front leg back, we're just stretching it out from where it was, okay? And you're going to bring that leg round. We're going to go into child's pose, so taking your knees mat width apart, toes together, sit yourself down on your heels, take in an in-breath, and as you breathe out, you bring yourself all the way down to the mat, head onto the mat if you can, forehead onto the mat, and before you relax, pull the hands out in front of you, get the stretch across the back of those shoulders. Feel that stretch, big breath in, as you breathe out, relax. So this is the point that you can relax, this is the position you can take any time throughout the class if you're feeling tired and you need to rest. So you can have your hands here, here, on my favourite, on the bottom of your spine. And just take a few low relaxing breaths there. Don't push down on your hands if you've got them on your lower back, just let the natural weight there fall on them. And then when you bring yourself back round onto all fours, we're going to do some Superman here. So again, there's options you can take. You can use weights again here. So you're just going to need one weight for this. So you put it into the centre. We're on our hands and knees, so we've got our knees in alignment with our hips, our shoulders in alignment with our hands. So we're in a nice flat back position again. So you can take the weight here. What we're going to be doing, we're going to take an arm out. So you can either do it with one arm, you could do it with arm and opposite leg, and then what we're going to be doing without a weight, we're going to be taking elbow to knee, okay? So you take your position and your choice of option that you want to take. So breath in, stretching out, breathing out. yourself realign, making sure you've got a nice flat back and you're comfortable, taking the weight if you want into the other hand or without, and let's do our 8 on the other side, wherever you are. It's a stretch of the leg, so we're stretching the arm and the leg away. Three, 2, last one. Taking that weight out to one side now and bringing yourselves round. Curling your toes under, we're going to come back up, curling those toes under, pushing yourself onto flat feet, and then slowly doing your Pilates roll up, making sure that feet are hip width apart. Shoulders back and down. I'm going to do a few stretches here, leg stretches. So we're going to come into flat back position, so opening your legs again, wider than hip width, taking a breath in, pulling in that core, and as you breathe out, you're going to come down to flat back, okay? We're not coming down any further for the moment, we're just coming down onto flat back. So let me turn this way so you can just see what I'm doing. So our back is nice and flat, we're not hanging down, we're here. So we've got a nice flat back. Okay, from here you're going to turn one leg out, you're going to move your body round to that leg, and you're going to bring yourself down over the leg. We're aiming chest towards our thigh, obviously that's not going to happen, but that's the area, position that we're aiming for, so bringing ourselves down over our leg, and then we're going to push ourselves up and we're going to open the chest. So here we're having a nice opening, we're allowing the chest to open out. You can, if you want, to take your hands further up and open the chest here. Nice big breath in and out. Breath in, breath out. Lower yourself back down over the leg. Stretch it down along the back of the leg here. And then walking your hands back to centre, bringing those toes centre. Again, nice flat back, we're not bending over. Taking the other leg out to the side, walking over to that leg, taking a breath in. And as you breathe out, bring yourself down over that leg. And then with your hands, push yourself up. So you've got an opening in the chest here. If you want to bring yourself up higher and have the opening here, it's entirely up to you. You choose where's best comfortable for you for the opening. Then big breath in. As you breathe out, bring yourself back down over that leg and feel the opening down the back of the leg, the stretch there. Pushing yourself up, bringing your belly back round to centre, still flat back. Now we're going to bring ourselves down into a forward bend. So taking an in-breath, and as you breathe out, you bring yourself back down. And we're not going to be holding behind our legs to pull ourselves down any further. You come to where you can go, okay? If you feel you want extra, take your hands in the opposite direction so the fingertips are now facing away from you, but they're in line with your heels of your feet. No further back, no further forward, in line with your heels, okay? Taking a breath in here and using your arm to lever yourself down from there. Come down to where's comfortable for you. And taking yourself up, back to flat back position, hands onto hips, pulling in that core, bending your knees, breathing in, breathing out. Bring yourself up to standing. Okay, let's bring ourselves down onto the floor now. So bring yourself down to seated. taking our legs wide. Okay, we're going to do, again, another little side opening here. What we're going to do is we're going to take our forearm and we're going to push it in to our thigh. We're not moving it down the leg, we're keeping it into the thigh. And we're going to use the arm into the thigh as leverage to turn ourselves. So we're going to take our arm up, the opposite arm, we're going to breathe in here, and as you breathe out, you're going to open. So open yourself up, okay? Taking the arm over and open. You're going to get a nice opening here around the back of the ribs, into the lungs. Big breath in there, really feel that, and then bringing yourself back up to centre. Let's do that on the other side. So it's arm, forearm, into your thigh, using that as leverage, breathing in, and then as you breathe out, arm over, push with that arm, feel that opening, feel that ribs and that back of that lungs here, opening out and breathing, bringing yourself back up to centre, breathing in and then bringing yourself down. Now here you can hold onto your feet to bring yourself down a bit more. You could hold onto your ankles, or you can just drop yourself down, whatever's best for you. Each breath in, you come up a little bit, and every breath out, you stretch a little bit further forward. Try and keep the feet flexed, okay? Keeping the feet flexed keeps the legs active. And bringing yourself up to seated. Bring the legs in front of you. Take one leg over the other, taking the opposite arm around that leg, and sit yourself really tall. Nice and tall now. Taking the opposite hand around. Again, we're going to be using this hand as leverage to twist ourselves. This is a nice twist. There's a full twist here of the body. It brings out all the internal organs and it flushes out all the toxins. Bring yourself back to centre. Let's do that on the opposite side. So taking the other leg over, opposite arm around, hugging it, sitting yourself tall as you can, using the other hand behind, pushing it up, and then pushing round, using it as leverage to flush out those internal organs. Breath in through the nose, breath out through the mouth. A little bit harder to hold the core here because you're breathing and you're twisting as you're breathing, but do try. Bring yourself back to centre, taking the legs out. We're going to bring ourselves down over, so get nicely seated onto your seat bones, taking a breath in, and as you breathe out, bring yourself down over those legs. Every breath in, you come up a little bit. Every breath out, you take yourself a little bit further. Again, try and keep the feet flexed if you can, and then pushing yourself back up. Amazing, guys. Right, we're going to take ourselves down to the floor. I'm ready for a little bit of final relaxation. A couple of stretches just there before we do. So bring yourself round, either come down onto your backs from the side. Don't forget, if you have low blood pressure, to come down from your left-hand side. Otherwise, you can come down with me, one step at a time. So we're seated here nicely. Hands out in front, taking a breath in, pulling in that core. Breath out, pulling the core even more, and hold it. Breath in, breath out, hold it. Breath in, breath out, hold it. Breath in, breath out, hold it. Holding it with that core. Breath in, breath out, all the way down. Let's give ourselves a full body stretch now. So stretching those arms and legs away. Really as if someone's pulling your legs and someone's pulling your arms, and you're stretching. And then release. Bringing your legs up. Taking one leg up and bringing that leg in for a hug, stretching it. I find here I need to keep a little bit of a bend in my knee. I have knee issues, so you know, I find it difficult to lock them out, but also by locking them out, you're not really protecting the knee, so a little bit of a bend is always good, but you're going to get a nice stretch now down the back of the thigh. So if you pull that leg in, and then dropping it over your opposite leg, bringing that leg up, using this arm as leverage to push the thigh and the leg away to get an internal hip stretch there. And releasing, let's take that on the other side, the other leg up into the air, bringing it in, a nice stretch. And then releasing it, taking it over the opposite leg, bringing that leg up, squeezing behind the thigh and bringing it in, using the elbow against the thigh to stretch out. Now from here, we're going to do the last final little spinal twist stretch. So you can either do it as we did at the beginning of the class with feet mat width, you can do it with feet hip width, or you can take one leg over the other leg, taking your arms out into a T shape, taking a breath in, breath out, pulling in that core all the way over to that stretch. Keeping the shoulders firmly on the mat, taking your gaze over to look at the opposite hand. And then if you want an extra stretch, you can take the top leg away and you can pull and open from there. Relax into it, guys, don't hold any tension. And then release that down, taking a breath in, pulling in the core. At the same time, legs to centre, reaching the top, breathing out. Get yourself aligned, opposite side. So taking a breath in, pulling that core, breathing out, pulling the core even more, dropping the legs over. Get to your point of tension, looking over to the opposite palm if you can. Relax into it, and if you want to take the other top leg away and hold on to it, stretching it up, then do so. But relax into it. So you've got no tension, you're just relaxing into it, allowing that opening to happen, allow the stretch to be active. If you hold tension, you stop the body from relaxing, then you just build up areas of tension that will hold all the time. If you can relax into it, you'll get a bigger stretch, and your muscles will begin to stretch and open and feel happier for it. Okay, taking the legs back down, taking a breath in, bringing the legs to centre, reaching the top, breathing out. Get yourself nicely aligned. Let's take our hug last final time here. So taking a breath in, pulling in that core, lifting the legs up from the core, breathing out, keeping the core tight. And now you can bring up the head if you wish and have a full squeeze, making yourself into a tiny ball. And then release, taking in breath, out breath, squeeze tight, and then relax. Amazing. Let's take our legs either mat width if you still have back issues with the knees locked in, or legs long down the mat. We're going for our final relaxation. So hands slightly apart from the body, palms facing up. Let's release that neck out again as we did at the beginning of the class. Come into centre, let's do that breath, breathing in, breathing out, lifting just the head, chin to chest, keeping that core tight, holding it there, breathing in, pulling the core, breathing out, pull the core even more, let the head go, let the whole body relax, feel how heavy that head feels into the floor beneath. And then close your eyes here if you can, and scan your body. Take a good scan. Have a look, see what's going on, see how different you feel now at the end of your practice to you did at the start. And then we're going to start to relax. We're going to start to unwind and thank our body for what it's just done for us. So let the feet drop out, let the toes relax. Let the feet and the ankles relax. The thighs, the calves and the knees. The whole leg relaxed. The pelvis and the glutes falling heavy into the ground beneath. The lower back, the mid-back and your stomach. Really relax. The upper back and your chest. Your fingers, your hands. Your wrists. The lower arms, the elbows and the upper arm. Your whole arm relaxed. Your shoulders and your neck. Your head and your face. Your mouth, your cheekbones. Your eyes and your eyebrows. Your forehead and the top of your head. Your whole head relaxed. Your whole body heavy, surrendering itself to the ground beneath. Imagine the sea, lying on the beach, and the waves coming in and going out. As the waves come in, a gentle warm breeze flows over your body, from the tips of your toes over your legs, your hands, your body, and up across over your face and your head and away. And as the tide goes back out, that warm breeze brings itself back over your body from the head, over your arms and your torso, your legs, your toes and away. Go with that breeze over your body and away, and back down and away again. Feel the warmth of the sun warming your heart chakra. Filling it with love. And then take your thoughts to your breath. And rising and falling of your stomach or your chest with your natural breath. Any thoughts that come into your mind, just acknowledge them and let them go. Take your concentration back to your breath. Resting still. And start to take that breath a little bit deeper. Breathing in through the nose, out through the mouth. Wriggle the fingers and the toes, and give yourselves a full body stretch. Work yourself back up, bring yourself back to the here and now. And then when you're ready, Taking yourself over onto your side, left-hand side with low blood pressure. Make a little pillow with your arm and rest your head. Then gently opening your eyes, bringing yourself round onto all fours. We're going to take ourselves up to standing, so we're going to do this slowly because we've been laying down, we don't want any head rushes. So bringing yourself onto your toes, pushing yourself with your hands, then onto your fingertips and push yourself up so your feet are flat on the floor, letting yourself hang there for a moment. Then taking your hands onto your hips and bend your knees big time, and start to roll yourself up slowly. Keeping the core tight now. Don't forget, shoulders back and down, neck, and the last thing that comes up is our head. Okay, let's shake those arms out now, wrinkle those fingers, shake the arms, really wake the arms up. Big breath in, breath out. Do that again, big breath in, breath out. Last time, big breath in. Taking your hands into together, bringing them down to your heart chakra, giving yourselves a bow, and give yourselves a clap. Well done, guys, that's brilliant.